Good morning and happy Saturday. I am so excited for day 2. And before we get started, I just want to warn you that I'm not in my office, so things might get a little loud because I do have 3 dogs and I'm right beside where they normally come eat and people walk by and they may go crazy. So I apologize. Let me adjust this. So yesterday I was so excited to have you as well, and I was really overwhelmed with the response. I have not uploaded anything yet because I had a lot of things going on. Not that this wasn't important, but as soon as I got off, then I had a pool party and then we had a graduation party. So it was go, 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 go yesterday. And I also have to figure out the technological part of it because I'm a little technologically inept. So I'm learning, but I just wanted to let you know that I will get everything together and hopefully I can put both these videos into the same email. But anyway, I wanted to talk today about the pantry. I know that if you've been following for a while, I've said that we redid our pantry recently, and I actually haven't done the blog post yet because I was waiting to get to that part in the original organization challenge, and I just haven't gotten there yet. But I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna show you guys what I've done and give you a sneak peek and kind of like the thought process that I went through when we did our pantry. So I'm gonna try and do this without having my phone in my hand, so just bear with me. But when we first moved in, and the lighting's really crappy too, so I do apologize for that. Oh, before I get started, in case you don't know me and you're new to this live video with me, my name is Brooke Cribbs, and I have the website Cribbs Style, where I help you tackle the chaos of life, one organizing and DIY project at a time. And like I said yesterday, I've been focusing so much on the DIY projects that I kind of lost track of the organizing because DIY takes a lot of your time, and then it makes things really, really dirty and messy and whatnot. So I just wanted to say that now we're going to start tackling the organizing because I need to get back on track, and I know a lot of other people have said the same thing. So when we first moved into this house, our pantry had a bunch of wire racks. Wire racks are not my friend. I don't like them personally, and there are a lot of organizers who will say you can work with them, which I agree. You can work with wire racks. The only thing is this particular pantry was lacking a wire rack, and so when I finally do the blog post and I show you the pictures, you'll see what I mean. So hey, good morning, Danny, Anissa, and Jenny. So glad you can join me. So anyway, it wasn't very user-friendly with the wire racks. Things kind of fell over. There was some spacing issues, and so I really wanted to take this, and there goes the dogs. I really wanted to take this and make it more user-friendly. So what we did, first thing first, was we took the wire racks completely out of here. And when we did that, it gave us a chance to really see how much space we had. And how I based the spacing was basically off of my containers that I use, and we'll get more to that later. So I guess when you do a pantry, you have to think about what you're gonna have inside that pantry, and then what you're gonna have inside that pantry as far as where it's gonna be in the pantry is gonna be dependent on access. So for us, we keep a good amount of stuff in our pantry, but we also wanna make sure that it's a place where we can keep our dog food. It's a place where the girls have access to snacks and breakfast items, as well as any cooking or baking items that I keep on hand. And then of course, extra storage, because we really don't have a lot of extra storage around the house, which I'm gonna be changing that soon. So I needed a place to carry over for the bulk items. So if I wanted to go to Costco or Sam's Club, I had a place to put the extra stuff. And if I need to, I'll pick up the phone and show you what I mean. And so you can get a closer look. Thanks, Jenny, I appreciate it. So when we decided the spacing, and I'll tilt this down a little bit, you can see down here, we had our dog food container. Now we have 3 dogs, and so it was really important that we had a bigger container to put all of the dog food in because they eat too. So when I decided the first shelf for the pantry, I actually just slid this in and then I marked it on the wall. Now how I marked it on the wall was I first took painter's tape to do the spacing for the shelves because I wanted to make sure that aesthetically it looked okay, as well as function. So organizing is a lot about function over fashion, and once you get the function, then you can worry about the fashion. So if that makes any sense. And again, in the blog post, I will show you more about how I did these shelves. But as far as the spacing is concerned, from there on up, I used the containers that I had. Now, a lot of people ask, what kind of containers do you want to use in your pantry? And really, it's going to be personal preference. Now, for me, I like these OXO containers. These to me are great because you can see what's inside of them. It makes it really easy. Hey mom, it makes it really easy to see how much of an item you have. It's got an airtight seal and you can hand wash it. Now you can get glass containers. Glass containers kind of scare me just with the girls being younger. I want them to be able to lift and carry these things and not worry about them breaking them. And the nice thing about these containers is that they can pour them. So they can pour out their snacks if they want to in this little area. It makes it really easy for them. So I want it to be easy for them as well as functional. Now, they come in various sizes and it's awesome. Yeah, Anissa, it's so awesome. I found these, actually we had a couple when we first lived in Ohio, but then when we moved down here to South Carolina, I really splurged, and a good place to get them. So you can buy them at Target. They sell them, or Bed Bath & Beyond. They come with, you can get plastic, they have stainless steel tops. I mean, they go all out. So it depends on what you want it to look like. Various sizes, so Bed Bath & Beyond, Target. So you can wait for those to go on sale, or like Marshall's Home Goods, TJ Maxx. On occasion, they also will carry these in their store. So when I'm out and about, I'll go maybe grab a couple if I need them, if they are in the size that I want. So when it comes to labeling, I don't label all my containers, and typically I'll only really label the things that we use a lot, or if it's something that kind of looks the same. So at first, when I got these and we got cereal, I would label them. If it's pretty obvious what it is, you don't really need to label them. And plus with cereal, if your kids are like my kids, or if you're like us, we just go through different kinds of cereal. So next time, this might not be Fruit Loops. So you don't necessarily need to label this. So I stopped labeling the obvious things because there's really no reason for it. Where labeling comes in really important are the things that look similar, and you want to make sure that you know what they are. So case in point, we have flour. We have two different kinds of flour. All-purpose flour, tapioca flour. If you don't label them, you're not going to know which is which. If you want to take it a step further, if you have like rice or something, you can also write like the cooking instructions on it if it helps you out. But I personally love these because it keeps it sealed, keeps the bugs out, which is a really big important thing. Keep the bugs out of them. And plus you can see how much you have. And I'm going to get ready to talk about when you decant and when you don't really need to. So again, see this is a different size from this. So like I said, they come in different sizes. How I determine what size a canister I'm going to need for something is I'll leave it in the packaging, and I'll set the packaging inside the container before I dump everything out, because there's nothing worse than getting a size container that you think you need, and then all of a sudden you dump it and you realize it doesn't fit. So I try to figure out really easy, and then once you figure out what you need, then once you've been doing this for a while, then you'll know what size container you need. For example, I'm gonna put this right here. This particular size of container, it holds a full bag of cereal. And a lot of the times on the inside of the packaging, it'll tell you how big it is and what it can hold and ideas for things it can hold. So this holds a full bag of cereal, like a regular standard box of cereal. It can also hold a standard bag of chips. So if your family eats a particular kind of chips and you like to have those always on hand, you can also do that, which we do with tortilla chips. So when do you decant and when don't you decant? Well, it really, sorry, text message. It really just depends on, are you gonna use all of that one particular thing at once? So say you have pasta and it comes in a bag, you're not gonna decant it if you're gonna use the entire thing of pasta all in one sitting. So situations where we decant, we always like to have spaghetti on hand. And so that, I'll take it out of the box. But if there's a different kind of smaller pasta, or for example, oh, I don't have any, I'm out, I need to go to the grocery store. If there's something that you're gonna use all of at once, you won't wanna decant it. Oh, here's something. Soup. I wouldn't decant this because I'm gonna use the whole thing. So it's okay to keep things in packages. So does anybody have any questions or anything? I'm trying to read the questions as we go. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Hey, Katie. When I decided what was gonna go on what shelf, down at the bottom here, I don't know if you can see, down here's where we keep the dog food and the paper towels. They're very easily accessible. I know when I originally showed the picture, somebody was like, how can you get those out? That looks really small. I can very easily get it out. And the baskets that I got, I picked them up at Michael's. They were actually during Christmas time, so I got them for like 70% off, so I bought a bunch of them because they're nice. You could use these kind, and we use these when we had the wire racks, and I'll show you, because it has a solid bottom, which makes it easier when you do have a wire rack. If you have a solid bottom kind of basket or container, that way it kind of balances on there really easily, and then you don't have to worry about things kind of sloshing around. So this is actually, you can see it still has a tag on it because I wasn't really sure. So this is the sandwich making, so it's like all like the peanut butters and the different spreads and the bread for the girls so they can grab it. And then also down here I keep a lot of the extra stuff, so like the extra chips and things like that, or snacks that we needed during the year for school. I keep those under there, and would you believe people just assume we're out of something? They don't look down there, so it works out for me. Otherwise, if you want to keep people out of things, put it on the most top shelf. The canned good display up here, let me see if I can pull you closer. This is actually a expandable shelf, and I've played around with a couple different kinds. I've had just the standard shelf, which is okay, but if I had more canned goods, I can pull this out and it can go clear across the shelf. I had one once that was just one standard size, which was okay, but then when I had extra, it was kind of hard because again, I couldn't see things. So this way, I can see what I have, and if I end up with more canned goods, I can spread it out. And then, okay, so then moving on to the shelving. So this shelf right here, let me put this up real fast. This middle shelf right here, this is where I wanted the girls to have access to the items. So these things are like the breakfast cereals, it is the snacks for the girls, it's the things that I want them to be able to get to easily and not have to climb the shelves or get into anything else. So this is gonna look like a little bit of a hot mess to me, but this is where I keep their snacks. So we just came off Memorial Day, so we have a little bit more snacks than normal. But these bags of chips, we don't normally keep them here. We just happen to need them for a cookout we were having. So typically, it's really embarrassing. I gotta dig through all the bags of chips. Typically, I'll take the crackers, individual sleeves, and take them out because my girls love to snack on these. But this way they know that whatever is in this basket is free game to them. I take the granola bars out of the packages, and this is why, out of the box, there's one in here. There's nothing more disappointing than grabbing a bag of empty disappointment. So I like to take things that are individually packaged and take them out and set them in when I'm doing the groceries. So that way it also takes down the bulk. So when you take things that are individually packaged out of the boxes, it frees up more space. So then they know that anything in this basket, sorry dogs, it's free game for them. So it's also, Piper. It's also where we keep the popcorn. So popcorn, raisins, banana chips, you know, that kind of stuff. So actually I'm gonna set this aside. Then how I break everything else out from on up. So again, bottom shelf is sandwich station and like the extra stuff that we have on hand when we run out of different snacks. This one is the shelf for the girls. They know that they can help themselves there because they're at an age where they can get their own snack, get their own cereal. This shelf and up are things that I need for everyday cooking. So all my like lunch and dinner stuff is in the middle, and then on the top, because I don't bake very often, but when I do, it's all up here. So this basket actually has all the stuff that we need for baking. So baking soda, baking powder, cornstarch, stuff to make s'mores. I have to keep this out of their hands, or else whenever we go to make s'mores, I have no candy bars because they've eaten them. Same way with marshmallows. These little kids are like scavengers sometimes. But so all my baking stuff, and so I can easily grab it. So when we do decide to bake, it's right here in my hands, and then I can put it right back. When we're done. And then the very top shelf, which you can't see, are the extra paper towels, and then we also keep our cooler up here when we're not using it in the summer. So how you break out your pantry, and see, this isn't like, it's a big pantry, but once we did, I mean, it's a medium-sized pantry, I should say. Once we did it, then it really opened things up. And what I love about the wood shelves is that this almost acts like a counter. So if I wanted to down the line kind of switch things around, I could pull in some of the appliances that we have, like our toaster or our mixer or various other things that we can do. I personally did not want adjustable shelves in here because I don't typically adjust things, I just don't. So for me, it was more important that it was at an appropriate height, as well as being able to have enough room for all the containers that we consistently use. And because we've been doing this for a while, we kind of know, we have our own system kind of down pat. So by decanting the stuff that you have, it makes it really easy to see what you have and how much you have, so that when it comes time to do your grocery shopping, you'll know exactly what is in your pantry, so that maybe you don't buy duplicates because you can easily see everything that you have. And then periodically we go through here, and if I see that there's something that's been hanging out for a while, I'll check the expiration date and make sure that it still needs to be here. So does anybody have any questions or anything? I'm so excited that you guys came today. So like I said, I want to make this, I'm trying to keep this around 10 minutes, but I'm finding it's really hard. So we'll just kind of go with the flow. But today I have to run a special someone back to the airport. And so while we're really, really sad about that, I wanted to pop on really fast so that I can shoot you another idea. Does anybody have any questions or want to know anything particular about pantries or what to do, or any ideas that you need? Like I said, the big thing is, you know, if you want to decant things, I highly recommend it, just so you know how much you have. Putting things, laying them out based on what you're going to use, things you're going to use more frequently, you want them easily accessible, and then think about who's going to be in your pantry. These are child height items so that my girls don't have to get in anything else, and then I can make sure that when it's time for me to have a bonfire, fire pit, we have stuff to make s'mores, because they always ask for it. So if I don't keep them out of it, then we won't have any supplies. So it's thinking about what you use frequently, where it needs to be, and then spacing accordingly to the things that you have. But you don't have to have containers. I mean, even if you want to keep things in their packaging, that's perfectly fine. I just recommend grouping them by like items. So baking items, lunch items, dinner items. Something else that I've seen that you can do is, say for example, you want to lay out what you're going to need for a week for dinners. You could actually get plastic containers from I've seen them in the dollar bin at Target or the bargain bin, and you can label them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then put all the ingredients for the dinners that you're going to have in there, the dry ingredients, and then that way you know what you have for each dinner meal, and then you don't have to worry about anybody getting in to that stuff. You just say that anything in these containers, do not use them because I need them for these dinners. And then you can just add your whatever meats or whatever fresh vegetables or fruits that you need from your refrigerator. But that way you can see, for meal planning purposes, what you have already laid out for the week. So unless anybody has anything else, I so love that you came here today on a Saturday morning. I'm thinking I'm trying to figure out the best time. So if you have a time that you think would be the best for you to catch a live, let me know. I'm kind of playing around with some things, and then if you can't catch it on live, make sure you watch it on replay. And even if you watch it on replay, leave a comment if you have a question or if you have something to add to it, because again, these are just suggestions that I have that I've used over the years. By no means is it and be all end all. There's other people that have ideas, which is amazing, and what better way to share those ideas than on a platform like this. So I do appreciate you guys coming today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye guys.